human angle topic on family, marriage, peer pressure, drug and substance abuse, societal issues, women and children, and so much more. Now, it's crucial to approach these subjects with empathy and understanding. These issues often intertwine with societal norms and can lead to tough conversations. It is important to create a safe space for dialogue where individuals can share their experiences without fear or judgment. I am Jumai Manson. Join me every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on the program Inside Today on Global Television. Long-distance relationships, known as LDRs, are romantic relationships, beautiful relationships where partners are geographically separated and unable to meet in person regularly. Now, these relationships can arise due to various reasons such as work, education, or family commitments. Welcome to Inside Today. I am Jumai Manson. Today on the program, I'm being joined by one of my colleagues, another person than Queen Agaba, who will give an insight on long-distance relationships, of her age. The last time we spoke was long-distance relationship in marriage. So now we're going to be looking at being in a relationship and it's long distance at the same time. Do not go anywhere. The program continues shortly. Stay tuned. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Inside Today on Global Television, and we're going to be looking at nurturing relationships, and especially long distance. And like I mentioned, I am being joined by one of my colleagues, not the person than Queen Agaba, who will be enlightening us and telling us in her age and her pair. How difficult is it to actually merge the two when it comes to nurturing that beautiful relationship? But because of work, family, and a lot of things encompassed, it has to be long distance, which is inevitable. All right, Queen, you're welcome to the program Inside Today.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure being on Inside Today. I'm excited.
Thank you for coming on board. Okay, now let's talk about long distance relationships. Of course, we know when two people are committed to one another and something just has to play out, like education, where one has to travel to another country, leaving one behind, but they're in a relationship. Or let's talk about work, for instance, where you have to work outside the shores of where you live to another place and you're in a relationship. Or let's say family commitments, when you have to be with your family at a particular time, maybe 1 year or two, and you're in a serious relationship with your better half, or or someone that you really care about, but not in the same country with you. And how do you manage to balance it? Because if it's marriage, it's understandable, there's a commitment tied to it. You're married, it's a for better affair. But when it comes to a relationship that wants to lead to marriage, how has that been? I'm sure you've been in a long distance relationship before.
Yes, I have, but it didn't last. Maybe because of the peculiarities of being in a long distance relationship. Sometimes people are misunderstood. Things are not, you're not properly communicating. You're not communicating. Emotions are misunderstood. The communication is not flowing because of the distance. Sometimes it's time, distance, particularly when you have to work. Now, the other party would not understand that, oh, this is my work hours and the peculiarities of your job. Take, for instance, as a presenter here. Okay, let me give this. I was in a relationship when I joined Global Television. And the very first period where I was with Global Television, it needed me to give my utmost best. It was time consuming because of the peculiarities at that time. We needed to do a whole lot, to do a report and all of that. But I tried. Okay, on my part, it must have been that, okay, you got a new job and then you became even more distant. Trying to communicate and say, okay, at this time I'm in the studio, at this time I'm, going out for reports and all of that. And sometimes when you get back home, you're really exhausted. Sometimes it's easier to judge when people say, oh, because of long distance, the relationship didn't work. Maybe a few years ago, I would have judged people by that and say, how do you mean that you cannot make it work? It's easy to just communicate and tell your partner that this is it. This is where, just communicate. Quite frankly, it's easy. But if you're really very, busy, they say nobody's too busy enough to, and then you try to communicate, or you have a partner that is very, that likes attention, that wants, to always hear from you, there's going to be a friction. No matter how you try to communicate, you're always busy. Or maybe before, I can chat with you all day, laugh about things, pick up my phone and do all of those stuff, and all of a sudden I can't do all of those things again. So the person is thinking. So you might constantly need to reaffirm your love for that person over and over again and say, look, I cannot be on the phone or as much as I used to. I cannot call you at certain time, certain hour. I cannot reply your messages immediately, and most times when I get home I cannot talk for long because I'm exhausted and I need to prepare for the next day and all that. But I know it's all about creating a balance. But what happens when you try to create that balance but it's misunderstood?
But I want to ask something. Someone once said to me that if you really care and love for someone, you will always make out time. It doesn't matter how tired you are. It doesn't matter how the situation or circumstance may be. You will always create time to create that balance for that relationship not to go down the lane. But at the same time, technology has come in. So when people say, oh, they cannot uphold their relationship due to long distance, oh, I'm too tired. But during the day when you're busy, I know work is important, but at the same time, that little hi, checking up on you, that 5 minutes or 2 minutes message, don't you think it goes a long way?
Yeah, it goes a long way. Now, this is it. If you have been communicating with your partner, the communication has been consistent, you have a situation where you talk for long hours, maybe because of the privileges that your job allows you, like time and all of those kind of things. But when you enter a period or a phase that requires your best at work, that requires your time and all of that, the communication might slow down. It takes a person who is emotionally intelligent and also not too how do I put it, a person who is not so insecure as well, because a lot of things the person might be reading meanings to everything, the fact that you don't respond to messages, even if you try to, okay, I'm doing this at this point in time, sorry, I might not be able to talk to you so and so period of time. That break, it might take a while for the person to come to terms with the fact that, okay, I'm even trying to communicate with you, tell you this is where I am now, this is the place, this is the point I'm at now, so you have to understand with me. But if the person is somebody who is clingy, who is maybe insecure, okay, or you're a pretty girl, you're out and all of that, it would cause a strain in your relationship. So it requires, while you're trying to create that balance, the person might not understand.
So he has to be mature.
He has to be mature. So these are some of the challenges.
Or she has to be mature.
Yeah, she or he has to be mature. But I'm talking from my perspective. So he has to be mature.
We're talking about maturity now. They say there's a toll it takes on a relationship. Someone might be of age, but he's not mature in any way, and then that can actually be a problem. Let's talking about trust. They say trust plays a very vital role. She mentioned, now they say partners need to trust each other to remain committed despite the distance. Is it easy to actually trust someone in the workplace where you see a very pretty girl and the person that you're with is in that organization? There's this very pretty girl that she's always clinging to him. Hi, how you doing?
You see her in his pictures.
In his pictures, are you kidding me? And then there is this, and then for the girl, there's this guy that you're always seeing in her. How do you try as much as possible to get your mind off that after work? What are they doing? Are they going out for lunch? Are they going out for the day? Of course, it is not killing
yourself. I used to say that if you cannot trust me, or if I cannot trust a person, there's no point dating that person. What am I doing? So you just have to learn it, or else you've seen patterns or you've seen instances where it looks like this person is lying, or you've just seen traces, and then you might want to just be observant but not make speculations, because sometimes you end up hurting yourself. So you have to learn to trust your partner. That communication that you have should be able to validate your trust or validate whatever it is you both have. So you're talking to her, she's telling you about her day. If I'm comfortable enough to tell you about my day, want to talk to you, I'm saying I'm in a committed relationship with you, then you just have to trust me, regardless of who you see in my pictures. I don't make speculations about this person is always in your pictures, this person is just learn to trust me, or else proven otherwise. If you don't trust the person, my brother, my sister, wash your hand from that relationship. If not, you'll be giving yourself, you start taking BP medications at a very young age and all of that.
So therapist Queen is just telling us to wash your hands from that. But at the point, for as much as I trust you, when can I start doubting you at the same time when you tell me something and I need to doubt? But let's say now someone that has been in a long distance relationship for a very long time, and let's say 2 years. Where do I start doubting you? At what point? Where does it have to get to before I start having that, okay, there's no trust here, I gotta go?
Yeah, so how you begin to doubt is when the words don't match the actions. So the person is telling you, oh, I love you so much, but their actions are negating their affirmations to you. So over 2 years, you would notice the consistency. So when you begin to doubt is when the consistency is not there. And even the way they tell you they love you is not with so much, emotions or excitement as they use. The spark isn't there.
It's different from I love you.
Yeah. So you're communicating and you're noticing that the tone is consistently changing. No, the passion isn't there, the excitement isn't there. So this is not saying that you don't trust the person, but you observing that
there's a void. There's something happening. There's something going on.
So, and then that's where effective communication needs to happen. And then talk to the person about, okay, do you need space? Is there anything you want to talk to me about? So I feel like people in a relationship should be open enough to communicate, have that conversation. I don't think that two adults should be together and be, chesting things, keeping things to themselves and not communicating. That's why it's a relationship, so that you know where you stand. We've had people say that my partner is not doing this, my partner is. The answer to all of these things is communicate.
Very important.
I think I used to make that mistake, when I was in a relationship. I would, bottle up things and, for me, that was maturity at the time. Don't want to talk about it. But no, I was just being childish. Good. Yeah, I was just being childish, because when you communicate, then your partner knows your expectations and how to act or how to be by you. I saw a post. Let me just, go down that way, because I saw a post where this lady was in a long distance relationship or some sort, not necessarily, not that long, but they're not always in same city. And then she says her ex is still sending, her boyfriend at the time of fiancé is still sending his ex money.
Really?
And he's still in communication with
her
ex. So you can just imagine. so you can just imagine. And then she was asking questions online. And how do I go about it? And she feels very bad. She feels really hurt. She feels neglected and all of that. And then people in the comment section were saying that, you have to communicate or call it off, because various diverse opinions and all of that. And at the end of the day, she had that open conversation with him, told him exactly how she felt, and she thinks that he is insensitive to, be doing that, knowing that you're going to get married to me, and, all of these things are happening. And so he began to apologize and say that he never knew he was hurting her, even if I think that's silly. But sometimes these men can be that oblivious of what they're doing.
But I still feel there's some very nice people out there who there's, as long as it's over between us, doesn't mean I have anything to do with it. But that would be another discussion on Insight, because I really want to talk about that. I'm going to get a guest for that particular discussion. When it, still in communication with your ex, is it okay? Is it fine? Well, most people think there is nothing wrong with it, but at the same time, you're causing the other person pain and harm. But in a long distance relationship, when do I start getting tired, uninterested in whatever you do?
So people are in long distance relationships for a lot of reasons, and some of them could be work, some of them could be school. Take for instance, some people's job requires them getting married after a certain period of time. They can't get married immediately, and then some people are over their schooling and all that, and so there's no time frame to when we're going to be together again. There's a time frame. It could be longer than expected, or there's no specific, or marriage or any of those things. So it can begin to get tiring when the communication is not there. And these days, with the advent of technology and a whole lot of things that we can do, we can be innovative in our relationship. Now you can send delivery men to gift your you can send a vendor to deliver items to you. Just a lot of beautiful things to do. But when you discover that none of these things, there's no invention, no creativity, you're always calling, and there's nothing different. It can be weary, it can be tiring sometimes. And
when it's one-sided.
Yes, when it's one-sided, and when there's no creativity actually. So it's just, particularly when you know that you're in a very long distance relationship and you're going to be away for quite some time, you might need to reassure your partner. You both might need to reassure yourselves by sending gifts, sending affirmations, just being creative to ensure that in that long period that you're going to be together away, there's no gap.
There's no gap.
Sort of. So you want to, so if all of those things are not there, you begin to get tired and,
And is it, am I still spicing it up right? How do I spice it up? Is it the same way?
Yeah. Phone calls, video calls, pranks. I think I like pranks. Pranks are exciting.
Sometimes pranks can get you into
no, but not the very, very extreme pranks, but something really, just something to laugh off,
Like I'm in front of your doorstep in London right now.
Exactly.
Hi, go check the door. Come down.
You can just Photoshop yourself in front of the door. Something, just something to really create that excitement.
And spice it out. Yes. Not something that will hurt the other door.
Not something that will hurt.
All right, let's quickly go on a very quick break. Inside Today continues shortly. Please stay tuned. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, it's Inside Today on Global Television, and talking about nurturing relationships and of course long distance. So, and I'm here with Queen Agaba, who has been in a long distance relationship, so she's just sharing her own experience, how that although hers didn't work out so well, right?
Single. It's almost Valentine.
Really, but at the same time, of course, this is a love month, and a lot of people are in long distance relationship. A lot of people, I will tell you that for free. And then looking at it, how, like we mentioned, how to spice it up, and and all of that. So how do you come out and say, okay, we're in a long distance relationship, we've been in this for quite some time now? How do we pop the question to me? Where is this leading? Does it lead anywhere, basically? Does it lead anywhere? Or is just, we're going to continue as partners or as an item? But where is it leading to, basically?
It's so true. People have to have this conversation.
It's very important.
Very, very important. So that, because I've had cases where people are in long distance relationship for years, and the guy comes back. They're waiting on this guy to finish whatever it is he's doing, wherever he is, come back and get married to them. And then their partner, before maybe close to when they're supposed to be back, something's happened, or they find another partner they love, and all that, and it can be really heartbreaking. And that's why, if you're in a long distance relationship, you need to define the relationship, set, these are the conversations that people should have when they're in a relationship. So what are we doing? Where is this leading us to? Who are we? What are we? It's very important, so that you will not hear we are pencils in the hand of the creator. So you want to ask, what are we doing?
Oh God,
Where are we
has been
going
burnt
to?
bad. Really?
No. I have not made that kind of mistake. I will not make it.
Oh my goodness.
That kind of mistake.
Oh my
But
goodness.
it's just important that, you know, we ask. Before now, I used to think that maybe when you ask these questions, you are trying to sound desperate. But no. It's a very important question.
Very
so
important.
that, you know, so what are we? Who are we? To, you know, and then how long do you? Of course, there are times where you have to bring these conversations up, and then, you know, in the next so and so. So if it's long distance and there's nothing like work, school, or any major assignment, you know, making you guys, it shouldn't be more than 2 years. I believe so, because if you're mature and you're ready to get married, I don't think that you should be in long distance relationship and just, you know, and you're not seeing each other, you're not talking about when we're going to get married. Or actually, the aim of every relationship is, you know, there's an end goal attached to it, which is usually marriage. So so you need to define it and, you know, talk things about where, when, how these things are going to happen.
All right, now it's Valentine's. They say the month. I don't want to talk about this, but like you mentioned, you can spice it. It doesn't matter what festivity it's happening, whether Christmas and you're not close, or Salah, Valentine's Day, Easter. There's always a way to spice it up, like Queen mentioned. Now, to someone out there who's in a long distance relationship and is wondering, I think I'm going to call it quit because my heart is tilting towards someone else because he's not giving me the attention, she's not giving me the attention, but we really love each other and we want to make it work. What do you have to say?
Valentine is that time, because it's all about love. I know that they say, oh, love is not only on Valentine's Day, but I mean, people are celebrating Valentine's Day. And if you're in a long distance relationship, this is the time where you need to show your partner, because people are going to like it or take it. They're going to have colleagues, friends, and a lot of those people who are going to be receiving gifts, you know, from intentional partners. And if you don't do any of these, it might not necessarily be anything big, you know, but just show that in this season of love, I remember you. It could be, you know, a wordy text, something, you know, I expect you as an intentional person to have been preparing so that your partner feels loved, you reassured, you know. And so if your partner does not get you, not necessarily a gift, but the attention, you know, particularly when you sit down and you observe and you see how people do love differently, and you think that your partner is not intentional, have that communication with them. Express yourself. Let them know your expectations of them, your, you know, how you feel about them not being in a certain way or in the way that you expect. Hear from them before you call it quit. So don't just call it quit based on assumptions and just, you know. But I would always advocate, I'm a love girl. Go all out for the person that you love in this season of Valentine.
All right. And not just, for me, I feel Valentine should be every day. It doesn't have to be one day. I will always show and tell you how much I love you every single day. Let's not forget communication. Effective communication is very crucial in a relationship. Trust plays a vital role in a long distance relationship. Planning visits, surprise the person where you can afford it, or like you said, you can just, you know, see the person and all of that. And don't forget, set your goals. Where is this heading to? Then talk about the challenges, talk about the advantage, disadvantages. Overall, long distance relationships require effort, commitment, and strong communication skills to thrive despite the challenges posed by the distance. Yes, it will work. It can work if both of you put your minds to it. Thank you so much, Queen Akaba, for being a part of the program.
Thank you for having me on the program. Always a pleasure.
All right. I am Jumai Manson. Have an amazing day ahead. Bye-bye.